little too easy? Which makes you my new partner.
Leave me in here, I'm going nuclear.
When it all comes down, it's going to come down hard.
Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black, is it really a new season? The renewal nobody expected. The biggest news is obviously the surprise renewal. After being told that Season 3 would be the final hurrah, fans naturally expected the story to come to an end. Instead, Netflix suddenly announced another season. That announcement was enough to send viewers into celebration mode, especially because Beauty in Black had already built a passionate audience around its characters, betrayals, secrets, and non-stop drama. But there was another detail that immediately caught attention. Season 3 was expected to be much shorter than the previous seasons, and that is where the numbers start becoming very interesting. Why the episode count matters. The first two seasons had a much larger episode structure, with 16 episodes each, although Netflix divided them into separate parts. That meant fans became accustomed to receiving 8 episodes, waiting through a hiatus, and then getting another 8. But Season 3 appeared to be heading in a very different direction. There had already been conflicting information about exactly how many episodes fans would receive. When Tyler Perry promoted Season 3, the expectation seemed to be somewhere around 8 episodes. That created another question. Would Netflix release all 8 episodes together? Or would the streaming service split them into 2 smaller batches and make fans wait all over again? For viewers already tired of long streaming hiatuses, that possibility was frustrating enough. But then an even bigger theory started taking shape. What if Season 3 was never really 8 episodes? This is where the review takes a completely different turn. What if Season 3 was actually filmed as a much larger season? What if the cast and production team originally filmed something closer to the previous 16-episode structure, but Netflix later decided to divide that material into 2 separate seasons? In other words, what fans are being told is Season 3 could potentially be only the first half of a much larger story. Then Season 4 could simply be the remaining episodes. That would mean the surprise renewal might not necessarily mean that an entirely new season was ordered from scratch. And if that sounds familiar, there is a reason. The Greenleaf connection. Tyler Perry's history with streaming television makes this theory even more interesting. The discussion points back to Greenleaf, where a similar situation reportedly happened with the final seasons. Instead of viewers necessarily getting a completely new batch of material, production and episode structures created the possibility of previously filmed material being divided differently for release. That history makes the Beauty in Black theory harder to completely dismiss. If Tyler Perry's productions have handled season structures this way before, could something similar have happened again? Because if the material for Season 4 already exists, Netflix wouldn't necessarily need to start from zero. And that leads to the question fans should really be asking. That's all for today. We will see you next time.